Welcome to r/best of Redditor updates, where this woman leaves her horrific boyfriend after one of the worst pranks I've ever seen. Well, I say prank, this is definitely not a prank. I don't even know what to call this, but all will become clear when we get into the story. But first of all, guys, I'm delighted and to be honest quite shocked to say that we have hit the goal for my marathon fundraiser. Once again, if you didn't know, I feel like you all probably know by now, I am raising money on behalf of kids, an amazing charity that supports disabled people and their families. It's literally a fantastic charity, and you guys have just gone mental. A day or two ago, we had £1,000 raised. Now we're over 2,000. The goal's been smashed, and from this point onwards, we're just going to keep going to the moon. I don't know, let's just try and go for as much as possible. We've hit this goal way quicker than I thought we could. 116 supporters is incredible, but there's no cap on this. This can literally keep going on and on and on. It is 8 weeks until I do the marathon. That's a lot of time to raise a lot of money. So if you haven't yet donated and you want not only a shout out in the video, but also me to be in a Karen costume, that is coming right up. I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't expect to hit this goal this quickly. So I'm waiting on a few little bits of apparatus, should we call them, before I can do that video. Make of that what you will. I think you probably know what I'm getting at there. But until that point, all I can say is incredible scenes. Thank you so much to anyone that's donated. Link to donate, to continue to donate, is down below, and it will be for every single video for the next however long, months. However, before we get into this one, the main content of this video, I owe some shout outs. Aesthetic Waif, Dying Laughing, Good Luck with the Wig. Now, speaking about apparatus I'm waiting on, could that be one of them? Maybe, you'll have to wait and see. Des says, good luck in the marathon. I'd come if I could get plane tickets from Canada and time off, but I can't. But good luck either way. Well, thank you. That is a real shame. Mama Cat, I'm a special education teacher. Keep up the good work. I listen to you every morning on my way to work, supporting you from freezing Montana. Well, I hope it gets warmer soon. Thank you very much for the $20 and for doing such an amazing job. Sentient Shark, Splish, Splash, Splosh with a €2.50. Thank you. True Cooler 21, make sure to stay hydrated. A very apt comment there with that name. I really will try. That is one of actually the main things that I'm very focused on getting right, because I often don't do that. I've got the gels all sorted for the hydration, the water, the liquids. I'm not entirely sure. That's something that I'm a little bit worried about, especially if it's a hot day on the day, because I'm a sweater. Is that too much information? I don't care, Nell. Stay hydrated, once again, or a Karen will call you a bad influence. I don't want that, so I will stay hydrated. Niall, best of luck to the world's most handsome YouTuber. Oh, who's that? Oh, he means me. That's very kind. Lucian, run, Karen, run with the £50. That's huge. Thank you very much. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Shakira, thanks for helping me sleep at night. No worries, Shakira. Obviously, it's been quite a tough time for you ever since you broke up with PK, but you know, I've enjoyed sharing a bed with you and tucking you in and giving you massages. So no worries. You could have just DM'd me that or told me we live together now, but fair enough. You wanted to donate. I appreciate that. Aaron is back. Ran out of money to donate, so here you go. Doesn't really surprise me since I'm 12 doing house chores. Aaron, you're donating at 12. That is unbelievable. As I've said before, no way in heck was I donating at 12 years old. I don't think I even knew what money was. So fair play to you, putting it towards an amazing cause. The Digger 97, hope this helps. Keep up the good content. I've been watching for a year now. I hope you do well on your charity run. Thank you very much for the incredible $100, The Digger. That is insane. Robert Murphy, hi Jack, I'm 24 as well. Right, I have low-level autism and ADHD. I fell in love with your channel in 2020 and have been listening to you and r/ since. My question to you, Robert, who is better? Comment down below, guys. I want to hear all your thoughts. Thank you very much for the donation. We carry on. Leo, can't wait to see you in a Karen outfit. Me neither. I don't know exactly which video it's going to be. As soon as I get all the stuff, it's going to be then. It will be this week. It will be in the next few videos. I'm just not sure if it will be tomorrow or the day after or the day after that. It'll be coming up though, don't you worry. Love the videos. Well, thank you for the donation. Daniel, I work in a special needs classroom and I've been watching since 2019, so I'm really happy with your choice of charity. Keep up the good work. $35, amazing. Again, an amazing thing to do. What a job that is. Incredible stuff, Daniel. Thank you for doing what you do. Louis, even though you didn't say it back, you're still cute and I still love you. There you go, Louis. Now, I can't quite say it back unless I see a little picture here. Can I? That's the problem. Thank you very much for the donation, though, all jokes aside. Aesthetic Waif, Molo from South Africa. Is Molo like saying hello? That's a pretty cool word. Good luck for the marathon and looking forward to the Karen video. $10. Thank you very much. Asriel Wagner. I love listening to you as I do my household chores, cooking, or just playing on my phone, and good luck on the Mara. Thank you, Asriel. We'll carry on though. Jazeel Arazo. I'm only 15 and I don't know what it's like to struggle with a disability, so helping those that do have a disability feels like the right thing to do. That is literally the point of raising money for this charity. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope I can show just down below in my story bit why the reason why, or one of the reasons why I'm running this charity. If you see down here, I have written, I'm very fortunate to be able to train for and run 26.2 miles when many are not. As such, I can think of no better charity than kids to try and raise as much money for as possible. Pretty much saying the exact same thing as you there, my friend. I know how lucky I am to be able to do this, and that is one of the reasons why I'm doing it. There we go. I have to scroll a long way down now to re-find that donation. Thank you very much. Chris, just swinging a 5 your way. Message to Visa. Say like Lisa with a V. Okay, so Visa, I love you. Thanks, Chris. Panda. No way you have an actual animal donating. Although I think we did have a cat yesterday. Sorry, it's not a lot. Had an unexpected medical emergency. Dude, if you have an unexpected medical emergency, don't donate. What happened? Did you get some bamboo stuck in your mouth? But my late brother was severely disabled. Okay, sorry for the joke. So this cause is very special to me. Tough for me there. Trying to be funny, but didn't really work. Your late brother was severely disabled. Very special cause. Well, I'm thankful that we can raise money as a community for something that is so pertinent to you. Love it. Mikkel, John Obi. Love the videos. It really helps listening to such a soothing voice from the great Redditor Jack while working. Let's hit this goal together. Well, Mikkel, the goal's been hit thanks to donations like yours. But that doesn't mean that we can't carry on, guys. We're going to the moon, as I said. Gabs, this is all I could afford to give. I don't care. I love the fact that even if you're giving the minimum $2, it's still a donation. I love it. And as I said, I will shout out every single person that donates, no matter big nor small. So there you go. I'm doing it, aren't I? Hope I have a good time. Me too. Me too. We have so many to go on. This is unbelievable. I know this is like taking up the majority of the video these days. What I will say though is that it's not going to detract from the actual length of the content. So don't worry about that. Like, I'm still reading the same number of stories. Just these donations are insane. RQ, good luck. Thank you for providing infinite content with the $20. Insane. Chloe's back and she likes cats. Good stuff. Jesse B is also back. Gotta correct my F up. Sorry, Jack. If you remember yesterday, Jesse called me Jake. Love ya. You went off on me like a Karen. Good method acting, lol. Don't worry, I was only joking, Jesse. But we must continue. Nichelle, I'm so glad to see the positivity you are providing for those less fortunate. You all that donated are just as amazing as Jack. Much love from Utah. 100% agree. Leon, thank you for being an incredible man the kids can look up to. Respects. I wish I could donate more. Leon, $2 is $2. That's elite from you. Yassine, I have 2 younger brothers with disabilities. So glad to see you raising awareness for such a worthy cause. Best of luck with the marathon, Jack. £100 plus £25 gift aid. Thankfully, people in the UK using gift aid correctly. I hope they are anyway. That's great stuff. £100. Oh my gosh. Yassine, that's amazing. And once again, very, very grateful and happy that this charity and this cause is really special to quite a lot of people that are watching this video. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for the donation. Granary Cottage, a donation from an actual cottage. Looking forward to cheering you on somewhere along the course. I don't know how a cottage is going to get to London unless it's already in London. Maybe you have a van. I don't know. But hey, thank you so much for the 50. Incredible donation. Philip Fredriksson, greetings from Sweden. Well, I could have told that by his surname. Incredible. Love your videos. They're very entertaining and I love listening to them. Thank you very much for the 5 Swedish euros. Albertosaurus Rex. Hi from Denmark. Thanks for the absolutely fantastic work you're doing. Keep it up. Bonus points if you can say, I don't know how to pronounce that. Actually, it's Martin Ødegaard. So Rødgrød Med Flød. I reckon that's not the worst shout there. That is not the worst shout. I know that Martin Ødegaard is not Danish. He is Norwegian, but that's in the same part of the world, so I reckon it's pronounced similarly. Who knows? Let me know in the comments, any Danes. Am I right there? Music box. Emils Zalmanis. Or Emils Zalmanis. Came for the stories, stay for the handsome British boy. Didn't leave and donated. Keep up the phenomenal work and hope you do a remaster on your first video. That is actually a really good idea. Guys, if you know what my first video is, get in the comments. I'm gonna do that because as I just realized the other day, we just hit 4 years of making videos on the channel. So why not recreate my first ever one? Good idea, Emils. Good idea. Give a shout out to Marty the Snake. I will do. He'll be back in a video very shortly. And guys, that is going to do it for the donations on this episode. That was so many, and I'm so grateful. Without further ado, let's get into the first Reddit story. I'm leaving my boyfriend over a prank. I'm still a bit shaken up, so if this doesn't make much sense, I apologize. I am an 18-year-old woman, and I've been with my boyfriend, who is 20, for almost 2 years. I moved in with him last August, and things have been pretty rocky. My whole life, I've struggled with my mental health, specifically depression, anxiety, and SH. I've been clean for a while though. I also have a history of trauma, but I don't need to get into that. I made sure my boyfriend knew this when we started dating because I wanted him to be able to nope out of the relationship if that was too much for him to deal with. He assured me it wasn't an issue. He never really seemed to get the whole mental health thing though. He'd make comments saying stuff like depression is just spicy sad and people with trauma should just get over it. He also thinks that only veterans can get PTSD. I've tried explaining things to him, but he just brushes me off, so I do the best to ignore him. Recently, he started watching couple prank channels on YouTube, and he started pranking me. At first, it was just small things like putting way too much flavor in my water or salt in a bite of my food. I laughed it off, it didn't really bother me. But then he started jumping out and scaring me. That kind of stuff really affects me sometimes because of my PTSD, and I tried to explain that to him. He would apologize, but then do it again the next day. I was getting annoyed and frustrated, but I tried to let it be. Things escalated last week when he put some noisemakers under the toilet seat in the middle of the night. I woke up to go to the bathroom and sat down. Boom. It being late at night, me being half awake, and the loud noise all mixed together gave me a full-blown panic attack. I was on the bathroom floor crying and having flashbacks. After I don't know how long, I stopped crying and was just staring into space, having flashbacks. He came in because I guess he noticed I was gone for a while. When he saw me sitting on the floor, he remembered his little prank and started laughing. I just stared at him for a second, got up and called him a jerk. I slept in the living room the rest of the night. The next day, I sat him down and I told him he cannot keep scaring me like this. No more jumping out at me, no more loud noises. He pretty much sighed and rolled his eyes, but he said he would stop. Everything was fine for a week. I thought this whole prank thing was finally over. Yesterday, I got home from being out with a friend, actually feeling better for the first time in a while. When I walked in the house, all the lights were off, so I assumed he was still at work, which isn't abnormal because sometimes he works late. I plugged my phone in because it died on my way back home, and when it powered on, I got a notification that he sent me a text. It just read, "So sorry, I love you." I replied saying, "It's okay, I'll see you when you get home. Love you." And I heard his phone ding in the bathroom. That was weird, I thought. I got up to go get his phone, and when I got into the bathroom, I saw him laying in the bathtub. The bath was full of water. There was an empty bottle of pills on the sink, and he was covered in blood. His wrists were cut, and there was just so much blood. My heart just sank. I started having a panic attack. I was hyperventilating, crying, and I was just frozen. After a minute, I ran to the living room to get my phone to call 911, and I hear splashing and then laughter. I turn around to see him standing in the hallway, just laughing. He said he got me, and I should have seen the look on my face. I don't even know how to describe the feelings I was experiencing. I was so mad and sad and scared. I didn't even say anything. I just walked out of the house. I just kept walking, and eventually I figured I needed to call my friend to come and get me. At first, I didn't tell her what happened. I just told her I needed her to come and get me. It was an emergency. She came and took me back to her house where I'm at now. My boyfriend keeps calling me, and he sent me some text saying he was sorry and that it was just a joke and I'm overreacting and I need to come home. I'm not answering. I don't even know what I would say to him. My friend is going over to his house tomorrow to get my things when he's at work. She said I can stay with her however long I need. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just feel numb. Wow, and there we go. What a first post. Let's get straight into an update which came just one day later. Thankfully, today wasn't as eventful as I was expecting it to be. I ended up sending my now ex-boyfriend a text saying that he crossed the line and I don't want to hear from him again. I blocked him on everything after sending that, and I'm planning on changing my number tomorrow. My friend went over to his house around noon today with her boyfriend and was able to retrieve most of my stuff without issue. She got all my personal documents, sentimental items, medication, and clothes. The only things she wasn't able to grab were the TV and Xbox I paid for, because I'm not sure how I can go about getting those back without him accusing me of stealing them. I'm not sure that fight is even worth it right now. Before she left, she put my copy of his house key on the kitchen table, so he knew I didn't have it. She wanted to unplug his fridge and all his appliances just to make things harder for him, but I told her not to. I really didn't want to add fuel to the fire. His mum reached out to me to ask what was going on. Apparently, he called her and told her that I had some sort of mental breakdown and ran away, and that he was worried about me. I told her what happened and what he did. She was fuming. She said she thought she raised him better than that and that she was sorry he did what he did. She said that if I need anything, I can let her know and she'll do what she can to help me. I guess his mum told his older sister what happened, and she also reached out to me to apologize for his behavior. Now, I wasn't close to her, but I met her a few times, and she is a really nice person. She offered to help with anything I needed and told me that she was going to make sure everyone knows what actually happened. I told her that wasn't necessary, but I appreciate it. But she said that she wasn't going to let her brother get away with this. I'm not going to argue, so I thanked her. For the most part, I've just been lying in bed today. I'm so exhausted, physically and emotionally. I wish I'd left him sooner. There were red flags that I just ignored. I guess I was afraid of being alone. I don't know. I'm trying not to blame myself for this whole situation, but I feel like I put myself in this position. This is what I get. I'm not expecting much else to happen. God, I hope nothing else happens. I'll probably give one more update in a few days as long as things have cooled down. If something significant happens, you'll hear from me. Thank you all for your kind words and your advice. It's very much appreciated and definitely needed. And as of the time of recording, that is the last update we've had up to this point. I guess there's not really too much more to come, right? OP's broken up with him. That really, I hope, should be the end. Now, I can't help but agree with your last point there, OP. I saw some red flags right off the bat. I mean, literally in the second paragraph of this entire thing, when you said that your boyfriend doesn't get the whole mental health thing, it's something that is so pertinent to your life that you've tried to explain to him. And for him not to get it, you just can't be a match if that is the case. I'm sorry. He just can't. Not to mention the fact that he's then going on and doing these ridiculous pranks. And the full knowledge, by the way, that you suffer from PTSD, anxiety, depression, etc., etc. Yeah, from that moment, even the first initial pranks, you probably should have been like, what's this guy doing? Let's get him gone. But, you know, you've given your reasons. You didn't want to be on your own. I get it. It's a tough spot for you. But my word, thankfully, you got rid of him very, very quickly after he did that ridiculous prank. And for those listening on audio, I'm doing, you know, air quotes here. What has happened to the whole pranking scene? I mean, thankfully, the pranking scene on YouTube did seem to die a few years ago, with ridiculous pranks like that one somehow going viral and getting crazy views. I think the word prank has been lost in translation over the past 10 years or so. Used to be fun and funny. Now it's, oh, look, there's blood everywhere and I might be dead. But it's just a prank, bro. Yeah, very, very strange. Let's carry on. Okay then, now for our next Best of Redditor updates post. Am I the jerk for leaving my boyfriend and his friends behind after agreeing to be the designated driver? I am a 33-year-old woman, and my boyfriend, who is also 33, of 4 years, is a big football fan, and he has a tradition of meeting up with his high school friends at a bar for Super Bowl every year. It's often the only time in a year he gets to see some of those friends because they're busy with their families and life. I don't like football, so I'm happy to be able to drop him off somewhere, have an evening to myself, and pick him up when he's ready to come home. He tends to go hard with the alcohol when he's out with this group. Last night, my boyfriend texted me that he was almost ready to be picked up, so I headed to the bar. He wasn't as ready as he made it seem, so I ended up going in and sitting down with them while everyone finished their round of drinks. He was pretty drunk, and he started getting handsy in a way that I wasn't comfortable with out in public, so I politely asked him to stop. I didn't want to make a scene, so I leaned in to whisper in his ear, asking to stop. He got angry though, and whispered back, "You should consider yourself lucky that I'm going home with you. I could go home with any woman here if I wanted to." He couldn't, but he's always been a dreamer. I was taken aback, as he's never said anything like that to me before. I get he was drunk, but still. Anger set in, and I excused myself as if I was going to the bathroom. I ended up leaving and texted him to let him know I left. Unfortunately, he'd arranged for me to drive 2 of his friends home too. Wouldn't have been an issue, but he also hadn't communicated that with me. Instead of calling an Uber or taxi like I assumed he would, one of his friends called his wife. The wife had to wake their toddler up to go and pick them up. Sorry, that's even more dumb. What am I reading? My boyfriend was furious when he came home, and still is this morning. He slept on the couch and we had an argument before he left for work. He says I embarrassed him by just up and leaving. He vehemently denies saying what he did, doesn't recall getting handsy, and insists he wasn't that drunk last night. I also got an angry text from the wife saying I was a jerk for leaving them drunk and stranded, forcing her to wake up her toddler to go and pick them up. She also had a vague passive-aggressive Facebook post calling me out. Now I'm questioning whether I overreacted. Maybe I should have just brushed off his comment because he was drunk and followed through on the commitment I made. I just felt so disrespected by what he said after I asked him to stop doing something that was making me uncomfortable. So, am I the jerk for leaving my drunk boyfriend and his friends stranded after the Super Bowl? Okay guys, before we even get into the update, I have to give my thoughts because there is absolutely no way, for so many reasons, that you are the jerk in this story. I mean, that's just 100%. It's not even up for debate. It's so not up for debate, I don't even know if it's worth talking about. What I actually want to focus on is who is worse. Your husband for making those disgusting comments and then being upset that you left after you told him not to make them, or his friend for calling his wife to go and pick them up in the middle of the night, waking up the toddler to go and do it when you have just said you could have got a taxi or an Uber. Like, which is worse? And then also the wife being angry at you for not doing it rather than at her husband. I don't know. Okay, fine. Obviously, your husband is worse. But still, from their perspective as a group, surely you just get a taxi, get an Uber, like split it. It would be so cheap. I don't get it. If there's an Uber available, you get an Uber. You don't call your wife. That's just weird. Especially in the knowledge that you have a toddler at home. Are you really going to expect your wife to come and pick up loads of drunk guys? Bring the toddler with her? Because you can't leave the toddler alone at home. Yeah, I mean, logic's gone out the window here, clearly. Okay then, just 5 hours later, OP posted this. Thanks for everyone's feedback, responses, and stories. To answer a few common questions and comments. First, he's never said anything like he did to me before. He can push my boundaries from time to time, but has always respected them when I've said no or stop. We've had a really solid relationship up until this point, but this has left me with a lot of questions. And I, for one, personally, guys, I'm not going to have the comment of, oh, he was drunk. You know, you can say weird things when you're drunk, fine, but that is like bordering on harassment. I don't care what sort of state you're in. You can't say that. And then also denying that you said it to a sober person, it's just not going to go down well. He doesn't go out often, but when he does, he usually binge drinks, especially with the group last night. He reverts to high school frat boy mode. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, by the way. The only problem is if your behavior then becomes like it did. This was his high school group of friends that I have limited interaction with. I've got my group of friends, and then we also have our group of couple friends. I don't know the wife at all, except for a couple of dinners over the years. Truthfully, his high school friends aren't my cup of tea, so I don't interact with them much. Now, the reason I decided to just slip away and text him was because I didn't want to make a scene. After what he'd said when I tried to set boundaries, I couldn't predict how he would react. I didn't want him shouting or saying something else demeaning out loud, and he was very unpredictable last night. It seems the wife wasn't told the whole story. I did respond to her text with an apology and explanation. Went so well that she left me on red and has left the Facebook status up. Speaks more to her at this point. Yeah, I got the indication and the inclination that she also wasn't the nicest of people, just based on her reaction. I didn't know until I got to the bar to pick him up that I was also driving his friends home. In normal circumstances, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. A heads up would have definitely been nice, but I probably should have ensured rides were arranged for them before leaving. No, that's not your issue. I've decided to stay with a close friend for a few days to figure things out. My boyfriend and I have built a life together, but I'm not sure we can recover from this. I don't want our relationship to be contingent on stopping drinking or no longer hanging out with this group of friends, or the promise that it won't happen again. From experience, ultimatums don't work and lead to resentments. Alright then, and now moving on to the actual update of this post, which came on February the 14th, the next day. First of all, thank you to everyone who took some time to respond. I read as many of your comments as I could. Thanks for sharing some of your stories, and I wish I could hug each of you that were or are in my situation. I really appreciate the support and also some of the honesty in the jerk judgments. Guys, it might be quite obvious, but just to say, OP was voted pretty much unanimously as not the jerk in this story. Some of what happened could have been handled differently. I acknowledge that me leaving without saying anything wasn't the best of decisions in hindsight, but at that moment, it was the only decision I felt I had, given the shock of what happened and the flight response it triggered. I've done a whole lot of reflection. I don't know why this incident was the catalyst, because looking back, there's a lot I let slide at the cost of my self-worth. I had my blinders on and ignored things I shouldn't have, which I'm embarrassed to admit. However, I still felt like we could work through things. At the very least, we needed to talk. I'd hoped that we could have an open conversation about what happened and ideally a plan to move forward. So, my boyfriend and I met up today for the Valentine's dinner that we had reservations for. The dinner was pretty emotional and didn't go as I hoped. I apologise for leaving his friend stranded as a way of me showing to him that I took responsibility for my actions, even though I feel even more justified thanks to you guys, but he unfortunately wasn't willing to do the same. He still denies doing and saying what he did, despite remembering everything else that happened while he was at the bar. And he actually doubled down again about me embarrassing him, now not only by leaving them at the bar, but for also having the audacity to respond back to his buddy's wife. He said that they were his friends and I had no business airing our laundry to them or involving them in our issues. Oh my god, this guy is worse than I actually thought he was. My word. I just can't comprehend how someone who supposedly loves me can't accept responsibility for his actions, or at the very least acknowledge he hurt me. He obviously doesn't respect me. It's done and over. I can't do it anymore. We're going to go our separate ways. I told him as much. We own a house together, so it's going to be a process, but I feel oddly content with my decision. So, thanks again to all you internet strangers that lifted me up and offered supportive words. I could not have walked out of the restaurant so confident in my decision if it wasn't for you guys. Wow, the power of Reddit. I'm back at my friend's place now, with a hot cup of tea and Woman's Worth by Elisa Milk on repeat. As the lyrics say, holy heck, I'm tired of loving a man who acts like a child. And holy heck, I'm done with losing my mind just to love someone. And I am. I'm done. And there we go. Great decision by OP. What has shocked me there is that you've been together clearly with this man for quite a while. I don't know if you explicitly said, actually, no, you did, didn't you? Didn't you say you've been together for what? 4 years? Is that right? Yes, you've been together for 4 years, and this is the first sign, it seems to me, and obviously we only are going on off of what we've just read here, that he's ever got that side to him. The side that remembers everything else on a night, but then can't remember that one thing that you're talking about, and also refuses to apologize for it. Now guys, I can only think of something that happened to me, which was very similar in this situation. It was actually with my ex-girlfriend before we were together. We were just seeing each other. And I had a moment like this. I had a night where I was with her and her mates and also my mate, and I got way too drunk and I didn't say anything like this. I don't, honestly, like, I'm not a great geezer, but I would, like, this is ridiculous. I wouldn't say any of this stuff. This is just obscene. However, I did get too drunk and I pretty much wasn't aware of my actions, and it turns out I was kind of ignoring her. Now, look, fair enough. I don't remember any of it because I was absolutely battered. Don't do this, guys, if you're watching. Trust me, it wasn't great. And she was upset because it was like a first big night out and I just got so waved. And it was a lesson for me. However, we talked about it. I fully apologized. I had no idea what I'd done, but she was telling me some of the stuff I'd done. And I was like, okay, honestly, in that moment, that wasn't me. I'm so sorry. I don't remember any of that. I would never do that again. I wasn't sober, obviously. But the point being that in that spot, I wasn't saying, oh, I don't remember doing that, therefore I can't apologize for it. I was like full on apologizing for everything that I'd done because of course I had no idea if I'd done it or not, but she said I had, so therefore I had. And therefore the fact that this guy isn't doing the same is just kind of crazy. Like, you can do bad things. If you apologize for them and say, look, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, I really genuinely am sorry, then what more can you do? It's safe to say I haven't had a moment like that since. So I've learned from that, and clearly this guy hasn't, because he's now not in a relationship. There you go. Just getting back to the actual post now. I'll just based on what I said at the start, I can't quite get my head around the fact that this is the first time that he's ever done something like this. I just can't see how that's possible. That after 4 years, this is the first time that something like this has happened, and it's to such like a drastic extent. Like, this is a pretty major incident. Not just what happened on the night, but the fact that he doesn't take any responsibility for it afterwards, and then even goes in on you. Like, you're the one apologizing when you never should need to, and he isn't. That's crazy. Maybe if you think about it now that everything's been and gone, as we saw in the first post, you'll think back to more red flags that could have shown themselves earlier, which you just didn't really clock, or maybe just didn't see as that big of an issue at the time. But looking back now, you're like, it all adds up. I mean, I at least hope that's what's going to happen, because otherwise, if somebody can just switch up on you after 4 years of being in a relationship, that doesn't fill me with much confidence, I will say. But there we go. Great story nonetheless. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this one. Quite a long one, but we had so many donations to go through, and I wanted to speak my mind on the last one. Once again, if you do want to donate, the goal has been hit. The Karen video is coming, but in reality, it doesn't mean anything. You can still donate up to an infinite amount of money at any time. So let's keep pushing. I'm still getting donations in every minute. During this video, I got the page got 2 or 3 more donations. It is mental the support you guys are showing. So yeah, let's push on now. The next 1,000, let's go to 3,000. As I said, we're still 8 weeks out from the Mara, and most of the time you get quite a lot of donations on the day or just after, and people realize you've done it. So I'm very positive and bullish as to how much we can raise. Links as always in the description, pinned comment, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new Reddit episode.